Basically, they took the tears out of the teardrop. Welcome, everybody. Josh, the RV nerd of Bish's RV, down here at Forest River today, getting a look at a new model that's coming out in the E-Pro Geo Pro series. They're the exact same thing under two different names, by the way. Don't ever let somebody try to tell you that they're not. They're lying, basically. This little model right here very much reminds me of some very classic teardrops, like R-Pod style floor plans that have been adapted into the Geo Pro concept. And I think I see a lot of old meets new with some of the Rockwood design in this. Like the kitchen slide is just textbook classic small Rockwood travel trailer kind of execution. You might notice though a lot of solid surface countertop action going around in here. But that's kind of the thing on a Geo E-Pro is they tend to have like their whole thing is anything you can do, I can do better. They always try to have plus one more than somebody else in the marketplace. Like they have like a low profile area to keep the total exterior height down a little bit. They have a factory standard 200 watt solar package with 30 amp controller. You can slap a second panel on there right from the factory. Up front, I think this might be a true queen bed. I don't have my tape measure on me. Hopefully we can get a chance to double check that for you. But it is an east-west bed that is shoved all the way up in the nose of this thing. That might be a problem for some folks. If you're a solo camper, not a problem. If you're a couple, you better know one another biblically, because if you crawl over one another at night in bed on this thing in some third world countries, you're gonna wake up married in the morning. The bathroom's a little bit tight, but considering it's a full bathroom and not a combo closet wet bath in this little thing, I ain't mad at it. And the seating in this far exceeded my expectations. Now, this is kind of an early, like just before it goes into production, technically prototype run. There's a couple little tweaks that are gonna come through, but overall, I think that if you're looking for a small camper with a comfy space instead of a dinette, you might like what you see here. Now, this is a small camper, and I don't like to use wide-angle lensing, so this footage is gonna feel very up close and personal here. There were some surprises in this. First of all, the fact that they didn't throw a dinette in the back of this, which is what every builder's done practically since the dawn of time. It's a theater seat. And not only that, I got looking over here and I'm like, hold on, no way. It's actually a power theater seat, which I did not see coming in this little lightweight trailer. Now you might notice the funny brackets and stuff beside it. This does have a pair of individual lagoon tables. That's one of the things that will be tweaked when this goes in production, because if you look at that table, it sits up too high. It practically sits just under your chin, even if you're tall like me. So they're going to adjust those mounts basically down to the floor so that you can have that table a little closer to your lap for dinner time if you want. I do appreciate that there are cup holders included right in that as well. And as you've seen for the last couple of years, you've got the blackout roller shades included all the way around here. But I like these newer window treatments that they've gone with here. Just metallic, just not made out of cardboard and staples. I don't know for sure. I wonder if those are steel or aluminum. So I wonder if they are magnetic is what I'm kind of wondering right here. Now they do go with the sleek looking frameless windows. They tilt open so you can get some rainy day airflow, but they only open like that far. So the airflow kind of sucks. That is one of the reasons that they actually build these with what I lovingly refer to as the Fajita Friday Fume Fighter. If this bathroom door is open and you open one of those windows, you will force a 6 mile an hour breeze minimum through the camper, which is kind of nice. You know, you can get some good airflow going here. No heat vents, no carpet on the floor, you know, just very easy cleaning in that regard. And when you're in these little trailers, storage is usually a major concern. And normally I would bust out the kitchen storage later. I tell you what, we're going to have to look at the kitchen storage in like 2 sections just because, yeah, I mean, it's small, man. Now that kind of looks wasted, but it's actually like a little, I don't know, side pocket over here with some power outlets next to your sofa space. So I'm not really upset at that. What you do have here though is a pretty serious closet. RV Nerdism number 237, the pantry closet wombo combo with that removable shelf right there. So if you want a place to hang some jackets, and it actually gives this camper some hanging clothing storage capacity, because normally floor plans like this don't have that. And this is one of the areas, that rear closet, this overhead storage right here. When I said they took the tiers out of the teardrop, that's kind of what I meant, because teardrop shaping prevents you from including a lot of cabinetry usually, and you don't have that challenge here. You see that you do have a privacy shade in the entry door. You also have, I'm going to get you right up on top of this thing. I don't talk about this very often anymore, but a lot of brands have this. But this little guy right here, the screenshot, what that guy is doing is if you just want the screen door to stay closed, but you want to kind of come and go, but your hands are full, it'll pull it shut for you. So sliding back here, you can see the heat vent there, so no heat vents in the floor. The converter down below. One thing I want to mention, unless this has changed, you see where it says auto detect on that converter. In theory, it means whether it's, you know, whatever type of battery you put on it, it'll figure it out and charge accordingly. The trick is, unless something has changed, in the case of a lithium battery, yeah, it'll charge it, but only to about 80%. And then the solar package tops it off from there. That could have changed. Again, last I knew, that was accurate. Those kind of hardware updates aren't always made known to me until someone like watches this video and go, no, we fixed that. And then like 6 months later, I'm like, well, here's what changed and I was wrong. That was, by the way, a 12-volt smart TV. And as I said, we're going to take 2 stabs at the storage here. These drawers right by the door are going to be interesting, because I don't know that they're deep enough to be, they're tall enough, but I don't know that they're long enough, deep enough to be like utensil drawers. But they might work for like your spatulas, or you might use one as like your utility drawer for like flashlights and stuff like that. You know, this RV doesn't actually have kitchen drawers, which is a thing that I don't love, but that's the facts, Jack. I'm just going to point out what it is and what it's not. Now, that right there is a 12-volt compressor fridge, but I do appreciate, it's not a full 10 cubic foot size. I think it's like a 5 point something or 5.3, something like that. Anyway, it does have a separate fridge and freezer. Sorry, my brain went for a second there and kind of quit. As we work our way through here, I appreciate that they actually do have a stovetop heat exhaust vent hood. Not all your little trailers will have that. It's just, when you're in the little campers, a lot of times you're in some aggressive budget sensitivity. This floor plan does not include an oven, nor is there a propane oven. There is not a propane oven available, nor optional. This floor plan just doesn't have the space. You can upgrade that microwave to a 3-in-1 electric oven, though, if you are so inclined. And working our way around here, deep space under the sink, which I think you're going to need. This right here, I would probably call more of a dresser than a pantry, just because, you know, you are approaching the bedroom space at that point. And again, very limited counter space here. They did at least try to put some power outlets where you need them. So if you have a small traveler's coffee maker, you might be okay there. But I mean, you ain't going to be cooking a Thanksgiving dinner in this thing, but it's a little camper. I think a lot of people are probably going to be cooking outside, but I could be wrong. I don't know. That's just my estimation. That's how I think I would use this, but I've never used a little camper like this, so I could be totally wrong. Interesting little note, and you can learn way more about this if you watch my GeoPro factory construction tour. It's mostly holds up. There's a couple, they've improved their plumbing a little bit since, but your sidewalls on these are only 6'1". They're 5 inches shorter than industry standard. But if you read a lot of dealer websites, they're going to tell you this has a 6.5-foot ceiling. The apex of the dual laminated section interconnected aluminum structured roof, which is a lot of words, but that's what the roof is. That is 6.5 foot tall at the top. That's also why there's this trim piece that runs all the way down here, because it's 2.5-inch barreled sections that lock together, kind of like an expansion bridge. Ooh, I don't like that flashing charge control. It's doing that because the solar panel can't see the sun and there's no battery on the RV, and I don't want people who have flashing light sensitivities to have problems with that. Sorry if I didn't see that sooner. Working our way around, bathroom. Stuck with a traditional tub, which is a little bit of a surprise to me. And again, being a small RV and being a nerd that's a little over 6 foot tall, my head is all the way in that skylight. But the thing is, most GeoPros I've been in I actually can't stand straight up in the shower, and I'm wearing my shoes in that footage, which I probably wouldn't wear in the shower. The reason I want to point all that out is because they mounted the shower head. I'm going to get you around the corner here slowly so I don't make you motion sick. They mounted the shower head on the inside of this, closer to the tallest part of the ceiling, and your head goes in the skylight organically when you stand there. So this is actually one of the better showers I've been in a Geo E Pro. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's a fantastic shower. Now, as long as we're looking around the corner, I'm again at a bad angle to showcase it. You see the the water knobs down there, but there's this little blue elbow. Well, taking a look at some movie magic here, you can see that that is your shower miser, your water saver system. Basically, it's a water recycler system. Unless it's updated, it cycles the water back into your fresh tank. And what that basically means is you have to heat all of the water in your fresh tank when that thing is activating, and decent space around the toilet. Well, now now that I say it, the toilet space was tight. But back to the shower miser. The thing is, you can sit there and not waste water when you're boondocking. Some people will also use it as a interesting method to power fill their fresh tank while they're already hooked up to city water. But be careful doing that. You could flood stuff unintentionally. Big vent fan here in the bathroom as well. No one ever seems to be upset about. In case you're curious, we do have a sliding privacy door over here. And yeah, things like that shower, it's a little bit tight. The toilet was very tight for me. But God bless that silly blinking charge controller. I'm sorry. The fact that this has a full dry bath in a small 20-foot 8-inch camper, I was like, for what this is, it's not bad, you know. Now, the bed here, I'm eyeballing it. I'm pretty sure that's a 60 by 80 true queen. I think they'll have that listed on their floor plan diagram. It's obviously absolutely stuffed up in the nose of this sucker. It's not going to be ideal for some folks, but the fact is, if you wanted to replace that mattress, the fact that it's a true queen, one, is bigger than what most small campers get, and two, makes swap outs a lot easier. It's interesting how they have the different size cabinet doors, but it makes sense because of the barreling of the ceiling, and I kind of dig the symmetry feature that they have going on there. That front windshield, by the way, and all the windows have those blackout roller shades. Now, the reason I wanted to back out of here is I am not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that when we close this slide out, you're about to pinch off a lot of the camper. Ooh! Ooh! This is way better than I was expecting. I forgot how shallow this slide is. You have to do a sideways travel trailer two-step, but I think you can absolutely consider this bedroom and bathroom accessible. Sorry about that stupid blinking light again. Yeah, I mean, it's not like you're kind of doing a little bit of a catwalk, you know, where you're sliding through this thing, kind of like Indiana Jones sliding up into the Temple of Doom, but this is way better than I was thinking. And just to give you a reference point, now that I walked all the way up, I'll walk backwards so you can see how a human body moves through this thing. This, by the way, is a Schwintek slide. We'll talk more about that outside. We'll also talk a little bit about this when we get back there, but basically, yeah, I'm walking sideways, but even with my chubby girth, I'm able to get right through this thing pretty easily. Now, these blue stickers that you've seen, this RV has a smart command system. I don't want to say its name because it's going to start listening for commands, and I'll accidentally like turn the lights into like disco mode or something like that. I don't want you to stroke out or anything, but it's not connected to the internet. It's not Big Brother listening. The chipset itself is programmed to listen to specific commands, and they give you a list. It does like 10 specific things. Personally, I have next to no use for it. I am really, maybe I'm just becoming a grumpy old man, but I am really personally preferring the manufacturers who have just resumed traditional physical switch panels, because maybe they're not Bluetooth fancy, but they tend to work. And when they don't, they're real quick and easy to fix. And the serviceability of something is a factor that I appreciate. But that's my 2 cents. And I'm not an authority. I'd be curious to hear what you think. Like, would you prefer an RV, big, small, in between, to have smart command systems? Would you prefer to not have them? Does the size of the RV matter? What size does it start to matter? Whatever you're willing to share, I'm willing to read. All right, so let's talk towing. We are just a basically let's say 21 feet. Or slightly less than that, but let's say 21 foot long. That's tip to tail. That's total length. We're just about 5,000 pounds, fully max loaded with 11 to 1,200 pounds, give or take, of cargo capacity. So technically speaking, someone, like if you had a 5,000 pound tow rating, you're technically probably maybe okay here. I don't like that pairing though. I think that if you had a 6,000 pound tow rating and up, you're going to start feeling more comfortable and not just maybe technically okay. And obviously the further you go up from that, the better. The 11 plus 100 pounds of cargo capacity on a big fifth wheel, I would say is not okay. In a little trailer like this, I think it's all right. Now the width of these is often confused. This has a 7-foot narrow body. 8 foot wide is what the RV industry calls standard body. So this is a narrow body. There's different versions of narrow bodies. But depending on the specs you look at, sometimes they might say like 7'4". Well, the axles technically are slightly wider than the body itself. So the axle width is 7'4". The body width is 7 foot. The construction, all aluminum welded cage framework all the way around. Your sidewalls are dual composite and aluminum construction. The roof is fully laminated. The floor is tongue and groove plywood, and it's the only thing in this RV structurally that's really not laminated. And they did that to avoid soft spots in the floors. And it's amazing. Their warranty claims on their flooring has gone, through the floor. One of the options that you don't see applied on Geo E-Pros a lot is the slide-out awning topper that you see over here. This is a Schwintek slide. It's also a very shallow slide, which is exactly how Schwinteks were designed to be used. But if that doesn't give you peace of mind, maybe this isn't the right RV for you. That's okay. That's why I like to point stuff out. Little pockets. Rockwood Flagstaff is so good at a practice I call not an ounce of space gone to waste. They just don't waste anything. And even on these little secondary and tertiary compartment doors, they're still doing the magnet holdbacks and the compression latches. I think I want to start getting away from calling those slam latches because it gives people the idea that you can just blast them shut at your campground and your neighbors don't appreciate that. Now, you might notice here that, oh, by the way, that is a torsion axle suspension package, which is nice for a little trailer because single axles don't usually ride as well. But everything does drain out to a single holding tank point. Over here, we have our black tank flush, our hot cold outside utility shower, and then the gas and electric water heater. Very few manufacturers are doing the dual fuel, basically, water heaters. Down below, you can see the stinky, slinky, handy helper tube right next to that front stabilizer. And I want to point out that not only do they have 4-corner stabilizers, they're actually using the better quick drop variety so that this thing basically has even less herky-jerky wiggle jiggle when you get to your campsite. Now you might notice how, again, even under that bed, anything they build that's structural or load bearing will be a welded aluminum cage work. This is a side mount plug for a portable suitcase style solar package. And that's a lot of words. The thing is, like, this RV has 200 watts of solar built right on the roof. And you could add an extra 200 watt panel right from the factory, or we could put it on for you, no big deal. The thing is, though, like if you want to park in the shade, those panels aren't going to do much for you. So having that little portable plug allows you, if you get a suitcase solar package, which we can assist you with if you're curious about them, it allows you to kind of park in the shade and then move the panel around to chase the sun to get some extra charging. Now, this year they have done away with, including factory standard, the grill and table, the grable, if you were, or the griddle. The gribble. But they have still left the mounting bracket right here. By the way, did you know these grill mounting brackets, they're literally just awning rail? It's just literally a chunk of awning rail that some guy screwed on the side of the camper years ago, and the whole industry adopted it and built around it. Just totally weird, funny history on that. But they also have the gas grill quick connect also down here. Now, before I forget, if you don't see a spare tire, naturally you might assume the RV does not have one. Thankfully, that's not the case. The RV does have holding tank heat pads. It does not have an enclosed underbelly. The chassis is actually just not deep enough to enclose that as compared to the holding tanks. The door is anti-slam, which is probably going to be a really good thing because that speaker is not in an ideal location. The door could potentially club that. Oh, nah, maybe not, because they do have the little rubber baby buggy bumper door stop down here. That being said, I don't really care for the single cycloptic outside speaker. I would just rather get rid of that entire hole in my camper, but at least it's not a massive one. And it is, you might notice how it's a 3-inch speaker that is mounted on the surface of the RV, not recessed within. So there's actually not a massive hole there, but I don't like it regardless personally, just my 2 cents. It is a short list of single axle campers out there that actually includes a roof ladder. That's a very rare, frankly, a lot of tandem axle things, and even some fifth wheels don't give you roof ladders. Up top there in our early floor plan and a flash footage, we saw a quick look at the roof. Let's actually take another peek at that. And when you get up there, you can see a couple things. They usually have very clean work on their roof in terms of their sealants, but you see that solar panel. You also see the Max Air vent cover over the bathroom vent fan. That's something that you could add to almost any RV, but the fact that it's done from the factory means it's also included under the factory warranty, which is something that I personally like and really appreciate. On the back here, they also have a, what's the rating on this? I want to say 300, but I want to double check. Yes, 300-pound rated hitch. There's a sticker right on those that tells you what it's rated for, by the way. And as we back up over here, again, just every little space and pocket they could, oh, hold on. This actually does have the second solar panel installed on it right there. I missed that initially. Okay. But yeah, under that pantry space, it kind of looked like they wasted it on the inside. They didn't. They just used it differently out here. I would be curious, what would you put in your side saddle storage solution here? Which is a name I just came up with, and I'm kind of darn proud of it. So thanks again for tuning in, everybody. I'll leave you some links in the video description to double check pricing and availability. And there's certainly some other kind of similar things out there, like Cherokee makes a thing, I think it's called a 16CM, that for some reason feels kind of similar to me, but that's a rear dinette and a no slide, so maybe it's not the same thing. I don't know. Anyway, if I can think of something else that's similar, I'll leave you a link. And if I can't, I know that there's some similar things out there. I just couldn't think of them, or I didn't have footage of them. And maybe I need to work on that. So until next time, take care, stay safe, have fun, and let me know what you think of her, everyone.